All right, I'm activating the court's YouTube channel, which will cause some feedback until I can get that corrected. So I'm trying to get that done as we speak. Okay. All right. I call cause number 26,898. The case is styled in the interest of Leanne Sanchez and Jarius Jessariah and Sean Madrano children. This is a permanency hearing in this case. This hearing is being conducted by remote video teleconferencing technology using the Zoom protocol. This case is also being live streamed on the court's YouTube channel in order to comply with Supreme Court orders and Office of Court Administration directives to provide public access to the or to provide access to the public to the courts. Because of those announcements, I also enter an order expressly prohibiting the recording of this proceeding by any means whatsoever, including electronically. And instead, this proceeding will be recorded in the same fashion that it would be recorded if we were in the courtroom itself. And that's recording being made by the official court reporter who is participating in this proceeding in the Zoom teleconferencing method, just like everyone else is. The court's coordinator is present for the purpose of assisting the court and taking notes for assistance in the court's docket entries. With that, I call upon Christine Rankin on behalf of the department. Is the department ready to proceed, Ms. Rankin?
Yes, sir. Present and ready.
All right, then I also recognize respondent Shanette Sanchez and her attorney, Ms. Brooks. Are you and your client ready to proceed in this hearing?
Yes, Your Honor, present and ready.
And then as ad litem for the children, Ms. Riker, are you ready to proceed?
Yes, Your Honor.
The court is aware that respondent Jesse Madrano is incarcerated and thus is not participating in this proceedings. I do not recall the respondent Manuel Dominguez. Has he been served?
Judge, that respondent's in Mexico, and so we're working with the Mexican consulate on obtaining service.
All right. Then we will proceed. Ms. Rankin, you may proceed.
The department calls Shanette Madrano.
Ms. Madrano, would you unmute? Thank you, ma'am. Would you raise your right hand and be sworn as a witness? Do you solemnly swear that the testimony you may give in this cause shall be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes.
You may lower your hand. You may proceed.
Can you state your full name?
Shanette Erica Madrano,
Okay, and where do you reside?
Cedar Creek, Texas.
Is that the same residence that you had when we had our adversary hearing about 6 months ago?
Yes, and then no.
Okay, since the adversary hearing, Where have you resided?
I lived here, and then I was living in motels in Lockhart.
Hold on, Mr. Rankin, let me pause. There is another respondent, and that is Leroy Sanchez. I did not recognize that he was another respondent. Please tell me the status as far as being in default or being served or not being served. Please give me some update on that.
Yes, I believe we're going to make an attempt to serve by posting. All of our diligent searches have come up with no response as to his address.
All right. Ms. Medrano, do you know, and you may certainly consult with your attorney, where Leroy Sanchez might be?
No.
All right. I apologize for that interruption. Ms. Rankin, you may proceed.
Thank you. Okay, so then you lived in a motel and then you moved back into the residence in Cedar Creek?
Yes.
Okay, and why did you live in a motel briefly?
Because I did try to move back to Snyder, but that just did not work out.
Okay.
And so we
What
came back.
attempts did you make to move back to Snyder?
I did try to move back to Snyder, but it just didn't work.
Okay. Well, did you pack your belongings, put them in a car, and drive them to Snyder and look for residents? And that didn't.
I
that
stayed with
didn't
my
work
sister,
out?
and it did not work out.
Okay. So you came back temporarily?
I came back to stay forever because I do not want to live in Snyder, period.
I didn't understand you. What?
I don't want to live in Snyder at all. I have no reason to live in Snyder.
Okay. So you tried to stay with your sister. Did you look for an apartment or any other type of
I
housing?
tried to look for employment to begin with, and I was only there for a week, and things did not work out between me and my sister.
Okay. So you went back to Cedar Creek?
Yes.
All right. And you have 2 children that are currently in your care, correct?
Yes.
And what are their ages?
4 and 5.
And you have 4 children that are in the department's care, ages 10, 12, 13, and 16, correct?
Yes.
Okay. Since our adversary hearing, when I asked you what arrangements you're going to make in order to have your children home with you that you can care for, what arrangements have you been able to make since that time?
I am on a waiting list for 4 different apartment complexes, and I cannot rush. I mean, I can't rush the waiting list. And I've been looking for housing that would fit my financial, but there's not anything out here really. I mean, I came across a lot of people that whenever I was living in the motel in Lockhart, where all these people are living in motels because there's not housing anywhere. And I don't know if it's due to COVID or just because that's just how it is lately. I don't know.
Well, obviously 6 children in a motel would not work, but have you looked at any type of rental houses? Because there's plenty of options other than apartment
Not
living.
that fit into my budget.
Okay, so what is your budget, ma'am?
I make probably about $900 a month.
Do you receive any type of government aid?
My kids get food stamps.
Are your children on Medicaid?
Yes.
Do you get any type of monthly housing allowance?
No.
Do you receive SSI for either yourself or your children?
No.
Do you receive disability for either yourself
No.
or your children? So total in food stamps,
509.
that's $509 a month?
Yeah.
Okay.
I think they dropped it 503 actually.
How many hours a week do you work?
Since I started my classes, from 25 to 30 hours. I have 3 classes a week.
How many classes do you take a week?
3 classes.
Okay. And what are the times of those classes?
3 to 5 for one, and that's 2 days a week. And then the other one is from 2 to usually 3, depending how long she chooses to make the class last. And that's on a Friday.
Do you have any classes that you take on the weekends?
No,
Okay. Are you able to work weekends?
I work on Saturdays usually.
How many other people reside in your home?
2, 3. But it's not my home, it's my father-in-law's house. It's not my house. I just live here. I pay rent here.
Okay. So your father-in-law lives there, your boyfriend lives there, you and your 2 children. Are there any other persons that live in that home?
Brother lives here.
Your brother?
His brother.
Do you know if any of the people have criminal history?
They don't. They were the caseworker that was here. She already did her background checks, and she did all of that. And my lawyer has that information.
Now, if the department were to say that you could come pick up all of your children today, would you be able to do so?
I couldn't put them in this house because it's not mine. I can't tell my father-in-law, well, let me go and pick up all my kids and bring them over here, and you have to say yes.
Okay, so that's a no.
I would say yes, of course, because they're my kids, and I do want my children. But this is not my house for me to put them all here. That's why they're not with me to begin with.
So my question, ma'am, is if I were to say, come pick up your children today, your answer would be then no, correct?
No, it would be yes.
So you would come pick them up and take them where?
I guess they would live with me in my van because I don't have a place to live.
Okay, what services have you completed?
I'm taking my parenting classes.
Have you completed parenting or you're in the process?
I'm finishing them up, but one of them will be done in January, and I don't know when the other one is complete. I think probably the end of this month.
Have you completed counseling?
What kind of counseling?
Are you in individual or family counseling?
Nobody ever told me I needed to be individual or family counseling. That's not on paper.
All right, did you get a copy of the temporary orders after our adversary hearing?
I'm sure I did, yes.
Okay, did you read through those?
Yes.
So you're aware then that those temporary orders state that the court has already ordered you to complete individual and family counseling, a psychological examination.
Okay, the psychological examination is supposed to be done on the 17th.
Okay, can you let me finish? Parenting classes and to complete a service plan with your caseworker. So you have not completed individual or family counseling, is that correct?
I was not aware that I needed to do individual counseling or family counseling.
Objection non-responsive.
Overruled.
Have you completed your psychological assessment?
I just told you it's on the 17th.
So no. Have you completed
I have control over?
Have you completed a mental health assessment?
I didn't know I had a mental problem.
Have you complied with all of your drug testing?
Yes.
Okay. Do you know when the last time you were positive on a drug test was?
I wasn't.
You weren't positive in October for cocaine?
Nope. Not on the drug test. That was a hair follicle.
Okay. A hair follicle drug test, a UA, or an instant oral. When is the last time you received a positive drug
I haven't, because I've been negative. I don't use drugs.
but a hair follicle drug test did come back positive, correct?
You have all the information.
Why would you come back positive on a hair follicle for cocaine if you do not use cocaine?
I don't use cocaine.
Okay, I didn't ask you. I said, why would you come back positive?
I've already gone over that with the caseworker that's here, and the case is closed here. I've come out negative on every other drug test. And the next hair follicle will be in January.
Do you anticipate testing clean for that drug test?
Yep.
Okay. What is your work schedule for the week of December 22nd?
I don't know, because my boss makes the schedule weekly. She makes it every week.
Okay, excellent. Then you'll have plenty of time to plan. Will you be able to pick up all 4 of your children on December 23rd? Jarius is in a placement center in Abilene, Texas. She'll be responsible for picking him up there. Leanne is with family members outside of Snyder. You'll be able to pick her up there, and your 2 youngest are placed in Salado, roughly an hour and 20 minutes from your residence. Will you be able to pick up all 4 children on the 23rd of December?
Yes, if my vehicle is running properly, yes, because I have vehicle issues right now that I'm dealing with. Why I'm not in Snyder for this court.
When will you know if you're going to have a working vehicle?
As soon as I could get somebody to repair it.
Okay, so at this time, your vehicle does not run at all?
It runs, but it's not going to run all the way to Snyder or anywhere else.
Can it run to Salado?
Maybe.
If it runs to Salado,
I
can
don't
it?
know, because if I break down from here to there, I can't tell you I'm going to break down from here to there. I'm not a mechanic.
So at this time, you are not able to pick up the 4 children on December 23rd?
Not that I know of. Not I have to get my vehicle fixed. I don't know if the vehicle is going to be repaired at all.
Okay. When can you let a caseworker know whether or not you are going to have a working vehicle on that day?
Probably after next week, after I get my paycheck, so that I could pay somebody to fix the vehicle.
Okay.
Hopefully they can fix it.
So, sorry. December 23rd is a Wednesday. So by December 21st, can you contact your caseworker and let her know whether or not you'll be able to pick up your children? Because we don't want to get the children's hopes up that they are going to have a Christmas visit with their mom, only to be disappointed when you don't show.
Yeah, I could let somebody know before then what's going on with my vehicle.
By the 21st, can you let someone know?
Before then, yes.
Do you agree then that you're in partial compliance with your service plan?
Yes.
Do you have any information about Mr. Leroy Sanchez that would help us locate him?
No.
Do you have any information from Mr. Dominguez Manuel in Mexico?
No.
Does he have any contact with the children?
No.
When is the last time you had contact with either Mr. Sanchez or Mr. Manuel?
I don't know, maybe 2008, 2009.
Pass the witness.
Ms. Brooks, do you have any questions?
Yes, Your Honor. Good morning, Jeanette.
Good morning.
Few questions. Let's go back to the psychological it is scheduled for December 17th, correct?
Yes.
But it was scheduled previously also, correct?
Yes.
Okay. And the reason why it did not happen prior to Thanksgiving was due to a error in payment. It's my understanding that the caseworker in the case had set you up with a psychological with CPS instead of to engage, and therefore you were not able to complete the psychological before Thanksgiving, correct?
Yes.
So it was not your fault, or you did not prevent psychological from happening before Thanksgiving.
Right.
Okay.
Yes.
So they did reset it to December 17th, and you are set to go to that psychological.
Yes.
You're currently paying rent at your father-in-law's house, correct?
Yes.
And what are you paying rent?
$400 a month.
$400 a month. And you said you would make approximately about $900 a month. Is that correct? Okay. So about $500, and then it's what you have left over, not including anything else.
Yeah.
You have to drive to Snyder about once a month, or West Texas. What does that typically cost for you to drive to Snyder?
About $300.
Okay.
Because I have to pay for somewhere to stay most of the time.
Okay.
And then gas, of course. And then if any other expensive come up for my babies while I'm on the road, yeah.
Okay. So I think the last previous, and correct me if I'm wrong, but the last visitation where you got to see all 4 kids was November 14th. Does that sound approximately?
Yeah.
And you drove up to Abilene, correct?
Yes.
Okay. It was not just a caseworker picking up all the kids. You made the effort and drove up there as well, correct?
Yes.
Okay. You've been assisting and traveling as much as you can, dealing with your vehicle issues,
Yes.
and assisting Beatrice, assisting Miss Hamilton and Miss Salazar with setting up visitation, correct?
Yes.
For I apologize. Let me go back to your work. You said you're working about 25 to 30 hours,
Yes.
and you could be working 40 hours, but because your manager is assisting you setting up these, or to attend these classes that are during the work schedule, typically, you can only work about 25 to 30 hours a week, correct?
Yes.
But once these parenting classes are over, you'll be able to switch back to the 40 hours. Does that sound?
Yes. Or I plan on getting a better paying job as soon as I get done with all these classes, actually.
Right, but your manager is very helpful in letting you make sure you can attend these parenting classes.
Yes.
Okay. You said you've applied for 4 waiting lists for housing assistance, correct, in apartments?
Yes.
And you are or will be looking at Caldwell County and Bastrop County, correct?
Yes.
And you're looking for roughly 3-bedroom apartments?
Yes.
For your vehicle, you are planning to have your vehicle fixed as soon as you possibly can, correct?
Yes.
At this time, and for the past several months, you have not had any issues or with drugs at all, correct? So you were okay.
Yeah.
Okay, and you were expected to test clean as can be come January, correct?
Yes.
And you're set up for another urine analysis drug test tomorrow. Is that correct?
Mm-hmm.
Also planning to test negative.
Yes.
Have you had much assistance with housing authority with your caseworker? Or
No. No.
okay.
I did it all on my own.
Okay. That's all I have, Your Honor.
Ms. Riker, do you have any questions?
Yes, sir. Thank you. Ma'am, on the housing that you're looking at, is that going to be subsidized housing to where you're going to have help paying your rent?
I know on 2 of them, two of them are Section 8, and the other one is through the Housing Authority of Austin, which I've been on that waiting list since last year of October. So
Okay. Have they given you any indication on any of these as to how long you'll be on a waiting list?
I know on one of them, she said that I'd hear back in March. I guess due to COVID or whatever, to make sure that I'm still on that waiting list. So I don't know exactly what would happen after I get that letter. And the other one I just barely recently applied, so I'm waiting to see what number is on that one.
Okay. And you will have housing that will allow you to take in all of your children, correct?
Yes.
Okay. And right now, is it your desire to have your other 4 children, so have 6 children living in your home?
Yes.
Okay. Do you have any other form of transportation or anyone else who can help you with transportation?
Oh, well, my father-in-law helped me for about 6 months whenever I didn't have, and right now he has his only car. So I'm not gonna put him in that position. I mean, I can't just speak for him, I mean, we can ask him, of course, yes, but that will probably be then an issue for him.
And if all of the children are living with you, will you have a vehicle large enough to transport all of them together?
Yes.
What type of vehicle do you have?
I have a van. It's a 2001 Toyota Sienna.
Okay. How often are you visiting the children individually?
As much as I can. I see Leanne every day on the phone, so.
And when is the last time you had an in-person visit with any of your children?
I think it was here. They came here, just Sean and Jessariah about 2 weeks ago.
Okay. And so are you having enough consistent contact with them, or has that been an issue?
It kind of has, I think, been an issue.
Why?
Because I know I didn't see them for like 2 months. From September to November.
Since November, have the visits been consistent?
Pretty much.
And do you have pretty consistent phone contact with all 4 children?
Yeah, there was an issue with the calls to call Jessariah and Sean the week of Thanksgiving. I tried to call them and they said I couldn't talk to them, but I guess they cleared that up. And I just talked to Jessariah and Sean yesterday.
Have you had much phone contact with Jarias?
No.
When is the last?
I talked to Jarias. He called me I think like a week ago. Almost a week, not even I think maybe Thursday or Friday he called. Can't remember exactly, but he did call me.
Are you able to call him at Audrey Grace's house?
Not that I'm aware of, no.
Have you attempted to do that?
No, because I didn't think that I could.
Has anyone gotten you in touch with his case manager at Audrey Grace's house?
No.
Okay. When is the last time you saw Jarias in person?
In Abilene.
When?
November.
Okay. Pass the witness.
Anything further, Ms. Rankin?
Yes, just briefly. You testified that no one from the department has assisted you at all with housing. Haven't you been in contact with a woman from DFPS by the name of Beatrice, who has been contacting you pretty regularly regarding housing?
She has contacted me, but not in regards to housing.
Okay, what does she contact you in regards to?
She's been very helpful in regards to my parenting classes and setting up drug assessments and as far as getting the psychological and all that.
Okay.
But I have not had any help with housing. I did all of that on my own.
When you got a letter back saying that you wouldn't hear anything back until March, How come you didn't start calling other cities and seeing if you could get on their wait list, such as Abilene?
Abilene, because I don't live in that area. I don't reside in Abilene.
Okay, do you have to reside in the area in order to get on the housing list?
I believe you have to reside in the area that's close.
Okay, have you
And
called?
I choose to live in this area. I do not want to live in West Texas. There is a big trigger for me in West Texas. I know that I have that trigger, and that's why I do not want to live in West Texas.
Okay, how about then Brownwood? I hear they have potential openings in Brownwood, and that's
I
not.
don't have
considered
any
close to
assistance.
Texas.
I don't have no help.
Okay, so
I
if it
barely
comes
have the help
between
here.
housing and
I
your
have the help here. My boyfriend's family, they are the people that help me. Where would I go live? Where would I go stay? Stay in my van, stay in a motel with my 2 babies to have them in the street?
If there's a city that has housing wait lists that don't go to March and maybe no wait lists
How
at
do
all.
I know that? And
Yeah.
especially with COVID going on right now.
Why wouldn't you move there so that you could have all of your children? If
Are
there
you
was
going to
a
help
way
me?
to
Are you guys
I-
going to assist? Are you going to assist me to move there so that I can have all my children? Would you be able to help me with the vehicle to move everything over there? I
How
would be willing to move anywhere on the globe to have my kids if I could have the assistance.
Okay, and I think that your actions don't speak to that.
Okay.
How many doctor's appointments have you made for Leanne, Sean, Jariah, or Jarius?
I've always made the doctor's appointment.
Okay, when is the last one that you attended?
I haven't had them with me.
So since they've been in care, you haven't contacted any of their doctors.
Why am I going to contact? How can I contact their doctors if I don't even have none of their information? I don't have nothing of theirs. I don't have them with me. How would I contact the doctors if I don't have them? I've always made my kids' doctor's appointments. I've never, ever failed on that.
Okay. Have you asked your caseworker for that information?
For who? Who needs to go to the doctor? The information that I have gotten, there's no medical problems wrong with my children.
And again, you do have a copy of the temporary order that states that your parental rights as to medical appointments, education decisions and such are all intact, but you haven't exercised any of those rights. Is that correct?
And how am I going to exercise that if they're not with me? How am I going to take my kids to doctor's appointments if they're not in my care?
Pass the witness.
Your Honor, may I?
May.
Okay, thank you, Your Honor. You're living in Cedar Creek with your boyfriend and his family, and that's who you consider your family, correct?
Yes.
They're the ones who are assisting you and helping you and providing you a place to live.
Yes.
Okay. No further questions, Your Honor.
Ms. Riker.
Nothing further.
Ms. Rankin.
Department calls Vanessa Hamilton.
Okay. Ms. Hamilton, would you raise your right hand and be sworn as witness? Thank you. Do you solemnly swear that the testimony you may give in this cause shall be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth? So help you God.
Yes, Your Honor, I do.
Thank you. Ms.
Can you
Rankin,
state your full name?
Vanessa Hamilton.
And are you a to-engage caseworker assigned to this case?
Yes, I am.
Okay. How are all of the children doing? Are there any medical or education concerns that need to be addressed in court today?
As far as medical, all the children are doing well medical. Education-wise, they are doing well educational wise. They are all making grade levels and doing well and adjusted well in the schools that they have.
And going through the different children, so we have Leanne that's placed in a relative placement outside of Snyder, correct?
That's correct.
And Jarius is placed in a residential treatment center here in Abilene, Texas.
Correct. Yes, ma'am.
And Jariah and Sean are placed together at a group home.
Yes, ma'am. Garden Hope.
Okay. Are you asking this court to make the following findings: that the placement for the children continue,
Yes. Yes, ma'am.
and that the department remain the temporary managing conservator of all 4 children,
Yes, ma'am.
to make the finding that the respondent mother is in partial compliance with her service plan,
Yes, ma'am.
to make the findings that Mr. Sanchez, Mr. Madrano, and Mr. Manuel are not in compliance.
Yes, ma'am.
Now, as to Mr. Madrano, who's in TDCJ, has he completed any services that he's able to complete while incarcerated?
He has not. I have mailed out a packet to he's now located in Richmond. He was in another TDCJ in which I sent packages to both. He has not sent back or complied with any of his family plans or services.
Okay, do you get any letters where he's asking about his child, anything like that?
I do not.
Okay, do you get phone calls?
I do not.
And are you asking this court to approve the Christmas visitation where the respondent mother will have the responsibility of taking up all 4 children and have unsupervised access with them from December 23rd until December 26th, and at which time she'll be responsible for returning them all back to their placements?
Yes, ma'am, I am.
Okay. And are you asking this court that she be ordered by December 21st to tell you whether or not she will be making and exercising that visit, so that we don't tell the children that they're going to have a Christmas visit with their mother and get their hopes up only to let them down?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Pass the witness.
Ms. Brooks, do you have any questions of this witness?
Yes, Your Honor. Thank you.
You may.
So I apologize. This is the first I've heard about the December 23rd to December 26th unsupervised visit. Because I think previously we had discussed a December 22nd visitation. Is that correct?
Previously, we had discussed having the visit for December the 20th, which was a one-day visit, and the kids, they really have not really had time to be with their mom. So staffing this with my supervisor and my PD at Christmas, we're trying to look to see whether or not, we really can give them a really good Christmas with their mother.
Okay, thank you. So just to clarify, it's December 23rd to the 26th unsupervised visit, correct?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Regarding the housing, I want to make sure everyone, or I'm clear and Shanette is clear as well. Besides applying for housing assistance in these apartments, what other options, does the department know of that Shanette could be doing?
Some of the main things that we're looking at is, I know, Ms. Shanette has even explained to me that it's rough for her in West Texas, and she just insists on living in the Austin area. But truly, if we really want to have our children, we will live wherever feasible where housing is. Miss Beatrice, the DFPS worker, she has assisted. She's looked at different places. She's even looking at, she have advised that she have talked with Ms. Jeanette of even, living outside of Austin into other areas.
Right.
Maybe Bastrop.
Okay, so the answer I guess you're giving is that you need to look elsewhere.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so apply to housing assistance or housing authority in everywhere you possibly can.
In order to be with her kids, because of the fact, what we're looking at is the main issue. Ms. Jeanette has stated she want to be with her kids. Her kids want to be with her. So in reality, you would think that, you know, she will look anywhere to be with her kids. That's,
Right. I'm sorry, go ahead.
no, that's what, you know, there are, you know, other places, other cities that do have, you know, open housing.
Okay.
Abilene, as a matter of fact, Abilene, I just assisted a young lady with acquiring housing in Abilene based on income. And, you know, maybe that's something else we can look, you know, talk with and see if we can find something based on her income.
Okay. But is it also not extremely important to have a good support system? I mean, she will have 6 kids, and do you know if she has any family in Abilene?
No, she does not have family in Abilene.
Okay. Does she have any family in Brownwood?
To my understanding, no, she does not have any family in Brownwood.
But her significant other and her support system she considers right now is around the Cedar Creek, Bastrop, Caldwell, Travis County area, correct?
That's correct.
So
Let me interrupt, Ms. Brooks. Let me interrupt to ask a clarifying question for me. Ms. Hamilton, is To Engage and or the department also looking in that area where Ms. Medrano is now living?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so you are trying to find housing that can assist y'all can assist her in obtaining, whether it's in the area that she desires to live in or in any other area. You're just looking all around for her. Is that right?
That is correct, Your Honor.
All right, thank you. That's clarifying for me. Ms. Brooks?
thank you, Your Honor. So I know you said she's in partial compliance, so I just want to clarify the only, and I'm kind of reviewing off of the permanency report filed with the court. The only thing she is not fully complied with is housing, correct?
With housing and visitation. Because we had said that with she is able to come and visit her kids, you know, anytime that she would like. But she said it's an issue with vehicle and, you know, the transportation.
Okay, so do you have a vehicle that is causing her issues, working, doing parenting?
I'm sorry, I just found, well, I did not know until today.
You didn't know that she hadn't complied with visitation?
No, I thought you were saying her vehicle. I didn't know of vehicle issues until today. I'm sorry.
Okay. That's okay. Okay, so I guess for clarification on visitation, how often is she able to see the kids?
She is able to, like, if she can come every week, you know, she can come and see, but I have rectified that situation with the 2 younger kids being in Salado. They have an assigned DFPS worker, Ms. Lynetta, who has stepped up, and she will, I am setting up visitation in Salado to happen weekly. The other 2 kids, Leanne resides in Region 1, and then Darius resides in Region 2. The visitation for Darius is pending his treatment plan, which is going well. We are asking Audrey Grace for him to be able to visit for the Christmas holidays.
Okay, so Miss Lynetta is the caseworker. Is that what you said?
Yes, I just got confirmation on yesterday. Miss Lynetta is she will be the out of state, out of region case manager for the children, Jessera and Sean.
Okay, so that weekly or every week visitation, Shanette would not have been aware of that she could do that before today.
Right, because we just got that, we just started and we just found out that it was approved for them to have a out of state, out of region case manager.
Okay, so then, because you mentioned earlier, she's partially compliant except for housing and visitation, but it's not fair to say that she's not in compliance for visitation if she didn't know before today. Is that accurate?
But it's on the court order that she can have, and we also discussed the main reason she said she could not come to Snyder or to O'Donnell in order to visit.
Due to vehicle issues.
She didn't have vehicle issues at that time. She was driving to court and she was driving to some of the weekly visitations that we were having.
So approximately how many times was she not able to attend weekly visitation?
Shanette has attended 4 weekly visitations in 6 months.
But she's attended the department has set up a monthly visitation for all the kids. Is that correct?
Yes.
Okay. And she's attended this monthly visitation in November. And we're looking forward to December. And did she attend in October?
She did not attend any in October, no.
And what date was that set up for?
Those was every week. The kids have been having weekly visitations. The kids have had weekly visitation ever since I took over their case in September.
Okay. Back to the housing. What do you believe is stable housing for 6 children and a mother?
Occupancy with at least 3 bedrooms.
Okay. Do you know when she's scheduled for another hair follicle test?
Yes, in January.
Okay. Is there any concerns for current drug use?
At this time, we are, we are hesitant due to the last hair follicle. We are really anticipating, as far as the UAs have been clean, but the hair follicle is our main concern. We are waiting on pending hair follicle for January.
The previous hair follicle was October. So at this time, December 8th, do you have any concern for drug use?
Due to the October hair follicle, yes.
Okay. But every urine analysis test has been negative, correct?
Yes, ma'am, you're correct.
No further questions, Your Honor.
Ms. Riker?
Thank you, Your Honor. Ma'am, are you aware of any type of assistance that that she could get to help her get her car fixed?
I can check with the DFPS worker, Ms. Beatrice, and look to see what resources or agencies that we can find to assist, yes.
Okay, thank you for that. Do you know when Jarius will be released from Audrey Gray's house?
At this time, the counselor is saying that his behavior and his volunteering to attend the counseling classes is going pretty well. They have not gave me a definite date though.
Okay, and if we are unable to get the children back with their mother, do you know where Jarius will go after he leaves Audrey Gray's?
I do not. I would have to rely on to engage placement team in order to find that out. But we are hoping that things will work out where he will be able to return to his mother, that she will work on her services and get the housing needed.
And at this point, are there any possible family members for any of these children to go with?
At this time, none that I am aware of.
Okay. Pass the witness.
Anything else, Ms. Rankin?
Yes, just briefly. Ms. Hamilton, you were asked about a support system. Now, just to be clear, she has 2 children that are living with her currently, correct?
Yes, ma'am, correct.
Now, is her current boyfriend and that boyfriend's father, is that boyfriend biologically related to any of her 6 children?
No, ma'am.
Okay, so it's not, when you say that you're asking her to move to find housing in order to support your children, you're not asking to take away a biological father, split up a biological parent from their child, correct?
Correct. No,
You
ma'am.
are, okay. And so as far as support system, the support system that she's referring to that she has in Cedar Creek is a boyfriend and a boyfriend's father. Are there any other persons that are part of this support system?
I did meet a sister. She said she has a sister, Shayna, that stays up, but I don't know of anyone else that is family or, a strong support. She spoke of Joe and his family, but I have never met other than Joe. That was the only person that I met when I did visit the home.
Okay. Now you testified that, a 3-bedroom apartment, clearly that would be ideal, correct?
Correct.
But if it was a 2-bedroom apartment with bunk beds in 2 of the rooms, that's something that's not going to prohibit you from placing children, correct?
Correct.
Just having 3 bedrooms would be ideal. And when she said what else with housing, are working utilities a requirement for appropriate housing?
Working utilities is a requirement. Yes, ma'am.
Are you also, now when you staff a case for goal reunification, that is staffed with your supervisor and program director, correct?
Correct.
So if at this point, it's been 6 months and we still do not have housing resolved since the adversary, if in 45 days housing is still not resolved, will the goal for all 4 children change to termination?
Yes, ma'am, the goal will change.
Pass the witness.
Ms. Brooks, do you have any further questions?
Just a quick question, Your Honor. You touched on counseling earlier as part of the requirements of the temporary orders. Does the respondent need to go out and find the counseling, just start that counseling, and that's what or is it the caseworker who gives her a list of these are the different counselors we have available in our network as provided by To Engage? Please go to one of these counselors, basically. Is that correct?
Yes, ma'am. As a matter of fact, she will actually be going to the same group, Levy Associates, that she's going for psychological. We usually wait until the psychological report comes back, but we are going to go ahead and that service authorization for her counseling is actually going to be sent out to either today or tomorrow, as we did have the hiccup of, because of the fact DPS and CPS are on 2 different service authorization, everything was set up through CPS. We called it, Ms. Jeanette was never out of any money because Medicaid is accepted for everything. So her counseling, she does not have to look for anyone. Counseling has been set up.
Okay, but it's not Shanette's fault at this point that she's not started counseling because she hasn't been required to start counseling until the psychological. Is that what you just stated?
That's correct.
Okay. So there's no issue with compliance on counseling at this point.
At this point.
So as soon as and the psychological will be completed the 17th, she'll be rocking and rolling with counseling. And again, the only issue we have today in the past 6 months is housing, correct?
Correct.
Okay. No further questions.
Ms. Riker,
Nothing further.
Ms. Rankin? Anything?
Department rests.
All right, thank you. I'm sorry, state again what you just said, Ms. Rankin.
The department rests.
All right. Ms. Brooks, do you have any witnesses you wish to call?
No, Your Honor.
Ms. Riker?
No, sir.
All right. The court finds that Ms. Medrano is in partial compliance with her plan. The court approves the recommendations for maintaining the present placement of the children and the plans for the department for Ms. Medrano to try to get the children returned to Ms. Medrano, approving of the visitation for December. But Ms. Medrano still has some, shall I say, work to do. And I'm not faulting her at this point in time, but she's got to get some housing. And the department is working to assist her there. She's got to complete the psychological and the counseling, which is in the coming weeks. Those be the orders of the court. We'll set up another hearing. When is the next hearing suggested, Ms. Rankin? You're muted, Ms. Rankin. I didn't hear you.
Sorry, Judge. That would be in 3 months from now. So we're in March, I believe. I believe it's set in February because, but I don't know the date Kayla set.
Well, let me see if I can tell.
But either I believe March or February would keep us in compliance. It would be on the 2nd, whether it's in March or in February. I do not, it is not currently set. Could we set that then for February 2nd?
We can set it. That date is full at this time, but that doesn't mean we cannot have it then.
Is March full already?
No.
Okay, then if we could do March 2nd.
All right. The court will set it on March 2nd at 9:30. Anything
I will
further?
circulate an order.
All right. I appreciate that. We'll be in recess. I just, Ms. Riker, do you have a moment? Can you stay on for just a moment?
Yes, sir.
I just want to bring you up to date on the Ortiz case. And then everyone else, we're in recess. I will excuse you. I know everybody was concerned that Ms. Riker might not have had enough water to hold her over, but
I'm good.
okay. Thank you, Ms. Brooks.
Thank you, Your Honor, for accommodating me as well today.
No, you're
You
certainly
feeling
welcome.
better?
Yeah, I am. I
Okay.
think so.
Good.
So,
All right.
You look great for having it.
yeah, thanks.
Have a good day.
Thank you
Bye.
all.
Ms. Riker, there was a lot of confusion on our part on the Ortiz case. You're an ad litem.
Yes,
We
sir.
don't have it. We did not show it served. I'm sorry, set. We did not show it set. We have reset it for January 5. I am going to appoint Ms. Fay to represent Ms. Ortiz. Some of the confusion is that the mediated settlement agreement has not previously been filed with the court. And then after the final hearing, which was apparently April 9 of 2019, Mr. Scott passed away, and the order was never entered. I do not know if those two are connected, but nevertheless, he did pass away, and the order was not ever signed, whether it was presented and I dropped the ball, or whether it was some other issue, just not knowing what to do with Mr. Scott not being present or able to sign. I don't know. It doesn't matter the why. That's at least those facts existed. And then, of course, unfortunately, very unfortunately, Miss Reed passed away as well. And I was a little bit afraid that Ms. Fay would not take the appointment, since all of the people appointed to represent Ms. Ortiz have passed away. But she said she would take the case unless there was a conflict. And something else that since you weren't with us in person, Ms. Ortiz informed Ms. Rankin that I might have a conflict in hearing this case because I'm her uncle. The problem is for her and that idea, I'm not her uncle. I don't know who she is. I know who all my siblings are. I know who all of my spouse's siblings are, and I'm not her uncle.
I don't know why that's so funny.
Yeah. She said it was her father's sister who told her that I was her uncle, but I've never heard of her sister. And I don't know that I've heard of her father, but they are not siblings of mine or of my, they're not in-laws. My wife had one sister who is deceased. All of my siblings are still alive or still living. Anyway, I don't know where she got that information, but I mean, I now know where she says she got that information, but where that person came up with that, I don't know, but I'm not related to her. I did ask, Ms. Fay was going to do a conflicts check. And so I asked her to include in the conflicts check to see if she was Ms. Ortiz's uncle. So there wouldn't be a conflict, but anyway, that case is going to be set for January 5. I will check the mediated settlement agreement that, as we were talking, Ms. Rankin emailed to Kayla. I will check the proposed final order. And if possible, I may go ahead and sign it and enter it.
Okay, I've already signed the order. I just didn't know if Ms. Ortiz needed to sign since part of it's based on an MSA.
The proposed, I say proposed, the alleged final order that Ms. Rankin emailed to Kayla today does not have your signature.
I signed it. She emailed it to me this morning.
Oh, okay. Okay. The MSA has your signature and Ms. Ortiz's signature. It has Paul Scott's signature. It has Ms. Rankin's signature and a couple of other people from another person from CPS. So the mediated settlement agreement is going to be filed with the court. What was the final order the order after the final hearing, was that based upon the mediated settlement agreement?
Part of it was, but I believe we then terminated Valentin Ortiz.
I haven't looked through that order to see if that was correct. It says he did not show. But do you know of any reason why I shouldn't sign the final order?
I don't know of any reason why not. And Christine and I really have been throwing this around for about 6 months. I think we've picked it up and probably dropped it. So it's likely that we dropped the ball, not you. But yeah, that was my only question, was whether or not Miss Ortiz needed to sign.
I may do this. I may let Miss Fay consult with Miss Ortiz before I sign that final order.
Okay.
And I'll double check with her if she has any objections to me signing that final order. And then we'll take it up on January 5 and try to get this heard and finalized and completely finalized.
Okay.
All right. Are you doing okay?
Yes, sir.
Okay, very good. Glad to hear. I want everybody to do okay. Somebody asked me this morning how I was feeling, and I told them I'm not feeling any better. I'm also not feeling any worse. I feel exactly the same. I've never had any symptoms whatsoever. So it's disturbing to me that I was told that I had a positive test. Of course, I was told that by an uncle of mine, but anyway. Okay, thank you for staying over. If we don't see you before then, have a great holiday.